There comes a time when most men make a complete mistake. It appears outwardly as weakness, outward defeat, and failure at first glance. This is the right time to end the relationship. Not with anger, not with outbursts of rage, not to punish, not to provoke, not to elicit a reaction, but with silence, purity, and unwavering self-respect. And here lies the bitter truth that no one tells you. This is not the time to give up. That's when her regret begins. Most men are wrong. They think regret stems from heated arguments, lengthy explanations, emotional conversations, or proving how much she means to you. They think regret comes from the pain, the guilt, or the final confrontation when you finally let her see you for who you really are. So they talk, they explain, they plead one last time to be understood. But regret doesn't stem from words. Regret stems from the clarity that accompanies absence. When you part ways properly, calmly, without hostility, without pleading, without any drama, a powerful psychological state arises that no argument can cause. If you deprive her of communication, security, and the ability to express her feelings, this silence will take a different form because she will no longer respond to your emotions. You will be forced to confront her feelings. As long as you are prepared, you won't have to bear the full consequences of her choices, even if they are painful. Your presence will lessen the emotional impact. Your explanations soften the harshness of reality. Your constant attention whispers softly, "Even if you change your mind, I'm still here." But the moment you stop, that veil disappears. Suddenly, a space forms. In that space, the mind does something dangerous. It begins to play again. It's not about arguments or difficult times or good times or why she left or feelings you lost or your mistakes or your absence. This is where the real regret begins. Not because she suddenly fell in love with you again, nor because she was instantly shocked, but because you weren't there to ensure she made the right decision. This indecisiveness is devastating. She starts asking the questions she'd been avoiding. She feels the emotional void you're trying to fill. Your current silence is like a resoluteness you once took for granted. And what's most striking is that you haven't uttered a word. You haven't argued. You haven't finished what you started. You haven't tried to prove yourself. You've relinquished a dynamic that no longer values you. This act alone carries a message deeper than any confrontation. I know my worth, and I don't need you to prove it to me. In this video, we'll explain in detail why you'll regret breaking up with her, what goes through her mind when she loses contact, and why women are the ones who keep men pure for years. It's not about revenge nor betrayal, but about the natural consequences. If you've ever wondered why silence hurts more than words, or why some men linger in memory after they're gone, stay in the group, because the moment you step in is the moment everything changes. Before we begin, a quick reminder. Real change doesn't happen simply by watching YouTube videos. It happens within a community of men who put in the effort. If these videos have opened your eyes to how attraction, emotional control, and self-confidence work, consider what the entire social system can do for your mindset and your life. This isn't just an ordinary training course. It's a true brotherhood. A private space where men learn the psychology of strength, discipline, charisma, and purpose. They don't join for just 1 month, but for life. Every course, book, lesson, and future update is yours forever. No subscriptions, no restrictions, just a commitment to continuous growth. If you're serious about personal growth and discipline, and about becoming someone who doesn't settle for less, click the link in the description now. Join our community, sign up once, and embark on a journey of continuous improvement. If this message resonates with you, hit the like button. If you agree, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive upcoming videos that might change your perspective on relationships forever. Your support keeps this channel strong. Let's get started. Part 1. Why is communication more important than attention? Most men equate attention with value. That's why it seems like a mistake to end a relationship early. Attention is seen as a powerful force, whether it's through texts, calls, effort, or presence. It feels like you're doing something. But psychologically, when access is unlimited, attention becomes free. What truly matters in the human mind is access, because access dictates what is available and what is not. As long as access to you is unlimited, your attention loses all scarcity and influence and can reach you at any time. She can control your emotional state. Even if you're emotionally unstable, she can reassure herself with your presence. Your presence will be her safe haven. She'll protect you from the impact of her decisions. There's no rush, no deep thought, no regret. Regret requires contradiction. It requires absence. It takes time for the mind to perceive the difference between before and after. By continuing to grant access, even if limited, you obscure this contrast forever. Even after the relationship ends, you remain somewhere long enough to soften the blow of loss. Access is personal, specific, and irreplaceable. Attention can be found anywhere. Access is access to your world, your time, and your life. When communication is gradually severed without fanfare or explanation, the mind is forced to adapt to a harsh new reality. This adaptation is uncomfortable, and this discomfort leads to deep reflection. This is why the absence of healthy communication provokes such a strong reaction. You are neither seeking to be seen nor to disappear. You simply lose her inspiration. She might feel relieved at first. No stress, no emotional responsibility. But as her nervous system calms, that relief fades. Her mind starts searching for what she's missing. And it's not your words or your effort, but your presence. The comparison begins. She compares how she feels now to how she'll feel when she reaches her destination. Silence is like knowledge, and absence is like connection. Comparison is the root of regret. Men who don't completely cut off contact, who stand aside, who remain available, who secretly display emotional openness, are in for a profound absence. A man who understands psychology does the opposite. He cuts off contact clearly, without anger, without warning, without justification, without excuses. He chooses and moves on. This decision demonstrates self-respect in a way that words cannot describe. It shows that the path to him is not clear. People rarely regret what they can still have. They regret what they can no longer have. Part 2. What happens in her mind when she disappears without a fuss? When she disappears without a fuss, without a struggle, without an explanation, her mind enters a state of hatred toward him, unresolved uncertainty. People adapt to conflict and even pain. What they can control is better when there's a story. What they can't control is silence without a narrative, without uncertainty, without reactions. That was necessary at the beginning. Things weren't right. I made the right decision. The ego protects itself from doubt. As long as it exists, even indirectly, that story continues. But total loss destabilizes everything. There are no messages to analyze, no responses to interpret, no voice to understand. The mind loses its bearings. Security shatters, and then it begins to think anew. Memories of relationships resurface not for the sake of pain, but for clarity. She remembers times she ignored and compares her feelings for you with her feelings now. It's not nostalgia anymore. It's shame. Shame for not realizing she made the right decision. Shame for not moving forward or for failing. Shame for realizing this approach is unsustainable. The absence of drama is what gives it its power. Drama underlines its importance, and reactions confirm its impact. If both are absent, the mind poses the fatal question, why didn't you fight for me? This destabilizes the internal dynamic. Instead of seeking validation, she begins searching for answers within herself. Instead of appreciating your own worth, she reevaluates it. Here, regret creeps in quietly. Another consequence is a loss of identity. You played a role in her emotional world, appreciation, stability. When you lose that role as well, the mind abhors emptiness and reevaluates what has been lost. This is why regret often comes weeks or months later. The initial relief fades, silence descends, and one becomes fully aware of their absence. Men who vent their anger or justify it with anger lose this feeling. Anger keeps a relationship alive, and explanations end conflict. Both provide an external solution, while silent withdrawal offers nothing external. Everything happens internally. In this internal process, regret grows because you can't deny the absence. You only feel it. Part 3. Why does self-explanation prevent regret? Explanation seems valid and mature, like a fitting conclusion. Most men think, if I tell her how I feel, why I'm hurting, and what I did wrong, she'll finally understand. But explanations achieve the opposite of what you intend. They alleviate her anxiety and provide her with emotional security. You offer her a plausible story that she can organize, justify, and close. This allows her to shut down even if it hurts. This closed loop leaves no room for regret. Regret requires ambiguity, a space of unanswered questions, unresolved issues. When you explain, you occupy that space. She tells her why she's leaving, what she wants, and how she feels. I understand. I expected it. It makes sense. Even guilt is easier to deal with when it's expressed, but there's no explanation, no clear ending, no final dialogue, no conclusion. The story remains unfinished, and unfinished stories are worth telling. Silence compels reflection. Expression allows for solutions. Explanation makes you emotionally available. You still help her come to terms with the end, ease her transition, and protect her from complete loss. Men interpret this as you need to be remembered correctly as a kind, sensible, and loving person, but psychology rewards deep emotions, not mere forgetting. Feelings stem from absence, not explanation. If you don't explain, her mind will fill in the gaps. What did he truly feel? Did I undervalue him? Did I overlook the signs of his worth? This internal dialogue will refresh your memory. Excessive explanation will weaken your position and reveal that you still need understanding or agreement. Silence, chosen quietly, shows that I don't need all this. My decision is firm. This bothers those who think they have the upper hand. Explanations aren't wrong in a healthy relationship, but when respect is absent, explanations are more useful than you. Results provide the conclusions where necessary. The man who understands this will ultimately not share much. He will not argue about its value. He will not control his understanding. He will elevate himself and let the truth speak. Unvarnished truth is far more powerful than any explanation. Part 4. Why does repentance always come late and not instantly? Repentance rarely comes instantly. And this is where most men give up. They expect instant messages, emotional outbursts, and sudden inspirations. When something happens, they think, it didn't work. Wrong. The lack of an immediate response means the process has only just begun. The mind is initially defensive. It feels relieved. It feels at ease. It feels free from stress, responsibility, and effort. It feels lighter and freer, and it's certain it did the right thing. Comfort is a temporary emotional balm. With time, and as the starting line is redrawn, absence becomes a reality. No messages, no updates, no information. Communication is no longer present. It vanishes. Contradiction is its antithesis, present and past. Steadfastness in the face of the unpredictability of the present. Acknowledgement tinged with doubt. Regret stems from the realization that something of value has been taken without objection. The mind aches when fundamental assumptions die, as if they were always there if you wanted them. Regret comes too late because it requires reshaping identity. You were part of its emotional being. You are someone ready to fall again. Everything collapses so the mind can bear the loss of identity instead of the pain. Regret appears suddenly. The anxiety of searching for something unknown and then not finding it. Men who crave immediate redemption lose it. Quick reactions, fear of selfishness, real regret, reflection and loss. Reflection needs uninterrupted time. Break the silence to look inward. You will feel at peace again. Reduce comparisons. Postpone responsibility. A supportive man doesn't follow them. He doesn't wait for signs. It's measured by its position. It doesn't need to be awakened by regret. Rather, it should be allowed. Part 5. Why is resignation depressing? The dynamics of power are complete. Power isn't about who rules or who has the final say, but about who is least dependent on the outcome. Before leaving, power is often in the hands of the person who has invested the least. As long as you have her, tell her. The door is open and she feels safe. She knows where you are. She can find you. Access is available. She can exploit that safety. End the conversation clearly. Without anger, without justification. That safety is gone. You don't know how she feels. If she runs away, if the door is open, the mind hates insecurity. The tables have turned. Stop thinking what you're thinking. She's thinking about you. Stop waiting for her response. You won't get anything. Stop asking for confirmation. She doesn't have it. This is a strategy, not a peaceful resolution. No declaration, no negotiation, no explanation, no certainty, no delay, no control. What remains? Scarcity. Scarcity inevitably leads to loss. You cease seeking acceptance. You reclaim control of your life. You stop reacting to it. You operate within your limitations. This self-adaptation comes from afar. People feel detachment more clearly than resentment. Self-respect is more exhausting than anger. Anger demands commitment. Silent detachment. I don't need to prove myself. It distorts her narrative, challenges assumptions, and shows that I underestimated her. It arouses curiosity, prolongs her existence, and brings her back into the spotlight, not as a deception, but as a reevaluation of the assumed and the unknown. But the real victory is yours. You control the focus, the time, and the energy. Stop interfering in her decisions. Stop waiting. Stop expressing yourself in return. Inner strength brings about outward change. Part 6. One mistake will eliminate regret after you're gone. The biggest mistake is returning to the process before it's complete. Subtle, emotional, familiar feelings, doubts, nostalgia, and curiosity creep in. Silence breaks the void, and it demolishes everything it has built. The void breeds comparison, reflection, reevaluation, and regret. Eliminate it early. Eliminate comparison. Tranquility returns. Tranquility eliminates regret. Look only within yourself to see. Respond quickly to delayed messages. Give warmth before making the real effort. You regain intimacy, security, and peace. Anxiety disappears, meditation ceases. Another version, unrestricted emotional presence. Physically detached, but emotionally open, listening, calming, long conversations. You find without feeling lost. Regret vanishes. Regret is merely the end result. No way out, no intimacy, no security. This doesn't mean ignoring her or inflicting perpetual punishment. It means not abandoning your boundaries until the relationship returns to normal. If she gives in, notice the quality of her effort, not the act of giving in itself. Her curiosity, her commitment, her longing, her responsibility, her willingness to change. These are all important. Don't reward vulnerability with complete access. Maintain consistency, clarity, and purpose over time. Most men mistakenly believe that repentance is a quick fix. Repentance is a window, and a window only leads to a state of self-respect, not an emergency. It's the act of stepping away from that state that creates a state of repentance. Standing in line is what determines its sincerity or insincerity. That's the absolute truth. Withdrawal is not a loss, it's a reality. You cease engaging in inappropriate behavior. Regret doesn't stem from words or speech, but from absence and clarity. A quiet exit severs the connection, removes the sense of security, and blurs everything at once. It forces you to reflect in a comfortable place. What happens next? It's beyond your control, and therein lies your power. When you think and act with conviction, responsibility, and a genuine purpose, you will meet with strength, not despair. Otherwise, you will move forward without betraying yourself. The biggest mistake is thinking about her reaction and your approval. Letting go isn't about making her regret losing you. It's about protecting her from losing herself. You'll be in our thoughts when we need a solution. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe silence speaks louder than words? Knowledge without action is worthless. If you're ready to move beyond emotions, lead with purpose, and build unwavering self-confidence, join our community today. Link in description. Subscribe once and embark on a journey to lasting success. If you enjoyed this content, please click the like button, subscribe for more great content, turn on notifications, and share this content with anyone who needs it. Start your journey to success now. Let's begin.